JNF would like to thank our national sponsors for their ongoing friendship and support. Welcome everyone to JNF's 2020 Virtual Gala. Introducing this evening's event from Melbourne will be JNF's National President, Ronit Frade.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to our very first ever National Virtual Gala. Whilst I know that this gala event is going to be entertaining and inspirational, I'm also hoping that this remains a unique event in JNF history and that next year we will have a safe return to the high energy spirit of our real life gala, as you just saw in our review of last year's amazing events. The theme for our 2020 campaign is Building Resilience, Growing Our Future. And I feel very confident that you will be inspired by our extraordinary campaign project as you learn more about it over the course of the next hour. We at JNF have focused our energies over the past years on developing the Negev in fulfillment of Ben-Gurion's vision, understanding that the success and the security of Israel depends in large part on populating and energizing this previously arid region. And thank God, with your true and loyal partnership, we are succeeding. It is through our wonderful JNF projects that we offer you, our committed and loyal supporters, opportunities to connect with Israel in meaningful ways. And it is through our education efforts, and having now taken over 200 Australian educators to Israel, that we reach out and connect our Jewish Australian youth with Israel and the beautiful spirit of Zionism. In 2018, our major campaign helped build the infrastructure of Shezaf in the heart of the Negev. Last year, we contributed to strengthening the community of Kadesh Barnea in developing an environmental education facility. Please enjoy the following video, which provides an overview of the vital work of JNF in Israel.
How did a 2,000-year-old dream finally become a reality? How did seeds sown in harsh and unyielding soil grow into a global powerhouse of knowledge and inspiration? How did the first drops of water brought from the country's centre to the Negev enable the creation of viable communities and agriculture in the desert? Hand in hand with the first pioneers, Keren Kayemet LeYisrael Jewish National Fund has always been there, from the purchasing of barren lands 117 years ago to the creation of the flourishing green country it is today. Let's embark on a journey to some of its flagship projects on the ground. JNF Australia promotes sustainability out of the understanding that the key to a viable future is the harmonious balancing between environmental and social needs. As part of the national effort to bring 1 million people to Israel's south, JNF Australia supports and promotes change-generating projects in the Negev. To sustain life, it's vital to improve existing water sources and create sustainable new ones. JNF Australia supports the development of cutting-edge technology to harvest and recycle urban runoff and grey water, reserving precious potable water for drinking. JNF Australia acts to bolster tourism and heritage sites in the south of the country. Among them are the Atachlit Farm, an agricultural village which preserves the heritage of Ethiopian Jewry, and the Anzac Museum and Trail, which commemorates the heroism and bravery of Australian and New Zealand soldiers who played a decisive role in liberating Beersheba and the Negev from the Ottoman Empire. Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, said that KKL-JNF lives and lasts not because of work well done in the past, but because of vital work in the present, and even more importantly, because of the great important tasks still awaiting it in the future. JNF Australia will continue its work to strengthen the State of Israel with an emphasis on developing the Negev, a national task which is more important than ever.
Representing the Government of Israel, please welcome from Jerusalem, Israel's Defense Minister and alternate Prime Minister, Benny Gantz.
Shalom, dear friends. I am glad to be addressing you in these challenging times to let you know just how much we in Israel appreciate the relationship with Australia in general and with JNF Australia in particular. When I think about how you have undertaken to improve the reality in the Israeli Negev, I can't help but feel optimistic about our future. When I think about how your concern has reached Israeli children all the way in Sderot, children who in their short lives have already had to deal with the crippling effect of PTSD and are lucky enough to have the support of the Israeli Resilience Center, I cannot help but feel hopeful about our people. When you enlist to make Israel's desert bloom, to help draw people to the Negev, a critical undeveloped region and a social and geographical periphery, which must be cultivated in order to build an inclusive, resilient, and thriving society, it reminds us that we are never alone in this mission of ours, and that together we are committed to bring goodness into the world. No matter how far, our hearts remain connected. No matter how difficult the trial, our togetherness allows us to overcome. Together we will overcome this current one too. Thank you. Am Yisrael Chai.
Sderot is situated near Gaza, and for the past 15 years has been subjected to an ongoing barrage of missiles, both during times of peace and times of war.
החמאס מנסים להרוג ולפגוע בנו כבר למעלה מ-14 שנה. אלפי רקטות נשלחו אל העיר על מנת לסגור את העיר, על מנת שהילדים שלנו, שהמשפחות שלנו יעזבו את העיר. אנחנו לא ניתן להם את המתנה הזו.
חשוב להישאר במקום ולא לברוח, ואני מאוד אוהבת את המקום הזה. טוב לי כאן. היו תקופות לא קלות, במיוחד שהייתי בהיריון עם תאומים, כשהייתה התקפה של קסאמים, אז הייתי מכנה את הרכב בצד ורצה עם שני סלקלים. כן, הלכנו לערים קרובות לחפש בתים, אבל מצאנו את עצמנו כל הזמן חוזרים לסדרות.
We now cross to Sydney. Please welcome JNF CEO, Dan Springer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight in support of the families living in Sderot, alongside Israel's border with Gaza. JNF Australia remains committed to strengthening the communities in this region and throughout Israel's south as part of our ongoing mission to develop the Negev. Last November, I visited Sderot with a JNF delegation during a week when over 500 rockets and mortars were fired from Gaza. We met Mayor Alon Davidi bravely leading his town throughout the hostilities, and residents that inspired us with their resolve to stay in their homes and continue to thrive as a community. We met children who were comforted by animal-based therapies and understood the need to build a dedicated resilience centre for them and the many other children suffering from PTSD due to frequent rocket attacks. Every year we have the privilege to bring inspiring heroes from Israel to speak at our JNF Gala dinners around Australia and motivate us all to action in support of vital projects such as this. Tonight, as we gather virtually, we will shortly hear from Lord John Mann, who breaks the mould of such heroes and is a hero nonetheless, helping defend the British Jewish community against its greatest threat in 75 years, as well as combat the rising tide of anti-Semitism around the world. John is not driven by a Jewish background or Jewish constituents. He has neither, but by the basic decency and courage with which he was reared in northern England. A decency and courage which drove him to stand up for Israel and against the anti-Semites within his own Labour Party, which he represented in the UK Parliament for over 18 years and is a fourth-generation member. As chair of an all-party parliamentary group, and since last year as a UK government's advisor on anti-Semitism, John has fought the resurgence of this scourge across Europe and successfully mobilised the movement to defeat Jeremy Corbyn in last December's UK elections. Elie Wiesel said that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. Lord John Mann lives those words, and it is an honour to invite him to address us tonight as we now cross to the House of Lords. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. And it's unusual to be sat in the House of Lords in Westminster in London and wish you were somewhere else. But at this moment in time, I certainly do. I mean, I've been looking forward to this visit to Australia. You know, the Brummies, the pies, the warriors, those beaches, the cafes in Melbourne. But we are where we are in this current crisis. And I particularly wish that I could be there with you, JNF Australia, considering the historic and vital role that you have played and you do play in securing a thriving and safe Israel. And your fundraising efforts for the new Sderot Resilience Centre that this evening is all about. I wish you well, and I hope you success in this vitally important endeavour. I've been appointed for the next 5 years to be the UK Government Advisor on anti-Semitism. And I'll be doing so without fear, without favour, attempting to ensure that the scourge of anti-Semitism in my country and across the world is challenged at all times robustly. I come from an area when I was a Member of Parliament until last December in the Commons that has virtually no Jewish community. I'm not Jewish myself. In fact, when I say virtually no Jewish community, I mean virtually none. I mean half a dozen people. Indeed, our most famous resident, you might know him in Australia, Fred Truman, the cricketer, who discovered just before his death that his mother was of Jewish descent. One of a handful. The question I'm often asked is, well, why'd you do it? Well, Fred Truman, the cricketer, before a cricketer, like everyone else in the area I represented, was a coal miner. And those coal miners, when they went a mile underground digging coal, used to take a small yellow bird as a warning against impending doom and danger. A canary. They took that small canary in the cage to guarantee their future. And for the whole of humanity, that's what the Jewish community is. The canary in the cage for humanity. And so when I fought anti-Semitism, the reality is I did it for the people I represented. I did it for my family. I did it for their future. And when we talk about leadership, my definition of leadership is this. If you're elected to a political position in Australia, in the UK, federal level, state level, however small or big your role is, then part of the role of leadership is to stand up against racism, to fight discrimination. And therefore, all political leaders should do their role, their part in combating anti-Semitism. In the work I've done, that's been our maxim. Across all political parties, without sectarianism, every party, every member of parliament, every local and regional representative expected to do their little bit. And if everyone does just their little bit, then we win. The danger is if we're complacent. And you know, your role in the JNF has been so critical, so fundamental in this. We need these robust organisations leading the way, showing not just to the Jewish community, but to all other communities and to the whole country, the values that we hold, the principles that we stand for. The more we give those institutions our support, then the stronger we will be. In the last few months, I've been elevated, some would say demoted, to the House of Lords, this wonderful place that I speak to you from now. And when I chose a title, you can imagine we British have got very, very strange protocols and traditions. You have to go see someone called Garter. Garter gives everyone the title, be it the royal family, every member of the House of Lords. Quite intimidating. And you have to choose a title. I chose the title I have, Lord Man of Holbeck Moor in the city of Leeds, because Holbeck Moor is where my family comes from. It's where my family lived for a century. It was and it is the poorest part of the city of Leeds. And there's a story about Holbeck Moor that's so crucial to understand. 2 days before the famous Battle of Cable Street, when the people of London took on the fascists on the streets of London in 1936. The fascists met on Holbeck Moor in Leeds, and the people of Leeds turned out, 30,000 of them, and removed the fascists from their area. There was no press, no films, no photographs. The next day they went back to work and continued their normal lives. It's what decent people do. They stand up, they reject fascism on an everyday basis. I'm pleased that my family was there on that day, battling the fascists in Holbeck Moor. But that story of decent, normal people needs to be told more, and that's why I've taken the title of Holbeck Moor. And you know, we have two viruses circling the world at the moment. This coronavirus causing us so much damage and harm, and the virus of anti-Semitism. Well, you are part of the vaccine against that virus. Every one of you. See, the maxim that I've held in the British Parliament to fellow parliamentarians and to everybody else is everyone needs to do their little bit. No more than that. If everyone does just a little bit more, then the cumulative effort of that creates the vaccine that will beat the virus. And that's what I hope you will do. In your small ways, but your vitally important ways. However much you do 5% more. that little bit extra is what we need worldwide to combat this virus of anti-Semitism. We stand in the United Kingdom in solidarity with you. But our solidarity is based on action. It's based on standing up and speaking out. And I say this to you. We can be fearful, sometimes we have to be. I've had death threats against me, my family, my staff. We've people in prison, we've more cases going in front of the courts. But fear has never been there, because we're standing for something that is right. That little bit of courage that we all have. If we stand and let anti-Semitism go by, if we fail to challenge it, they win. If we all do our bit, if we all see ourselves as a candle, a light in the dark, but a candle that cannot be extinguished, all of us fighting together, then we win. I wish the JNF all the success, using your skills, and I ask you, back your organisations, do that little bit more. You are the light in the darkness. Never let anyone tell you that we cannot win. Never let anyone tell you that they're going to win. The spirit of the Maccabees, that's what I hope to see. That's what I know I'm going to see. Together we will fight this virus. Together we will defeat anti-Semitism across the world. Play your role with your organisation, the JNF Australia. We will fight alongside you. Thank you, JNF Australia. Thank you, Dan Springer, for this opportunity, virtually, but in reality, personally, present with you today. I look forward to continuing our cooperation. Thank you from the House of Lords, London, United Kingdom.
Let's head to the Sderot Resilience Centre and meet Hagit Yasso, a Sderot resident and past Israeli Idol winner.
היי! וואו! נשמע.
בסדר.
תגידי, יסמין, בת כמה את?
9:30.
קודם כל, אני מבינה שאנחנו פה בפינת חי.
כן.
מה זה המקום הזה, כאילו, בשבילך?
קודם כל קוראים לזה פינת חי חוסן, ובעיקר מה שאני חושבת על המקום הזה, שהוא מקום שמרגיע כל בן אדם אפשרי. מתי שאני מלטפת חיה כלשהי ומרימה חיה, זה כבר עושה לי כאילו את הנחת.
באמת?
כן.
מה החיה שאת הכי אוהבת?
נחשה, שקוראים לה גולדי. היא ממש חמודה, היא חברותית גם.
אוקיי.
רוצה להפוך את הלטף?
איך גונדי קוראים לה?
כן.
איך היא עזרה לך, נגיד, להתמודד באמת עם העניין של הפחד?
עם זה שאני מלטפת אותה, והיא כאילו מלפפת אותי. מזה שהיא כאילו עוטפת אותי עם הזנב שלה ודברים כאלה.
יודעת שהחיה שאני הכי מפחדת ממנה?
זה נחש.
נכון, אנחנו עוברים הרבה תקופות בסדרות. וההתמודדות שלי לפחד, כשיש אזעקות ואנחנו צריכים לרוץ לממ"ד, זה השירה. אני אוהבת לשיר. זה עוזר לי.
כן.
ולמשל, את עכשיו בסיטואציה, את בבית, והנחשה לא איתך. כאילו, איך את בעצם... איזה כלי יש לך כדי להרגיע את עצמך?
יש הרבה תרגילים, כאילו, יש פתגם כזה, להריח את הפרח ולנשוף על הנר.
גדול. תראה לי.
וכאילו, כאילו, לוקחים פרח, נושמים אותו, נכון מרגיע?
מאוד מרגיע. את נולדת בסדרות?
כן.
ואת פשוט נולדת לתוך המציאות הזאת, או שהיו לך כמה שנים
היו כמה שנים רגועים, כמה שנים שלא. מאז שהתחלתי להגיע לפינת החי, אני יותר רגועה, יותר כאילו, יותר תופסת את עצמי. ופשוט רגועה.
אני כרגע עדיין רחוקה מגולדי, אני אשמור ממנו מרחק.
זה בסדר, לא כולם חייבים להחזיק אותנו.
כן, אבל זה מדהים שזה עושה לך טוב, זה הכי חשוב.
ואני ממש נהניתי להיות איתך פה.
תודה רבה.
Let's cross to Tel Aviv and welcome a close friend of JNF's, world-renowned Israeli mentalist, Lior Sushard.
Hello everyone from JNF, say hello. Hi. Hello. Let me mute all of you. It's wonderful to see all of you straight from Tel Aviv, Israel, straight to Australia. I'm glad to be a part in this amazing broadcast, which is very, very important. I'm Lior Sushard, and I'm a master mentalist, which means I know how you think and I know how you play with your thoughts. I use 3 special techniques to do what I do: mind reading, mind influencing, and bullshit. And we're going to do some things with a few of you, but we are going to do something pretty interesting with both of you. I have a watch here. John, can you count from 1 to 10, please, out loud? Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, Debbie, can you count from 1 to 5 out loud?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, I think if this is right, I will be amazed and the audience will go crazy. I hope so. Let me see. So, John, do you want to be the minute or the hours? What do you want to do?
Hours.
Hours, Debbie, which means you have more chances. You will be the minute, you will have 1 to 60. John, you will have 1 to 24. So let's construct a time. I hope I will be close. If this is right, it's going to be amazing. John, so what is your, I want to listen to you. What is your hour? Tell me.
23.
23, that's 11. And what is the minute?
43.
Oh, this is pretty random. So we created the 11:43, which is very, very strange because before we started this, I was setting my watch here to exactly 11:43, and which means this is very, very strange, right, Debbie?
Very right.
Strange.
Yeah. But give them a big round of applause, everyone. Let me hear you. I am still looking for some skeptical people. I need someone who's skeptical but with a good imagination. I need someone skeptical with a good imagination. So who has? Let me look at you over here. Who wants to help me here? Michael. How are you, Michael? I just unmuted you. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. This is Lee. My partner happens to be sitting with me. She couldn't help herself. So
I want you to use your imagination, Michael, and I want you to imagine, something. If you don't have good imagination, just imagine you have one. Cool? Right? So imagine I have like an imaginary deck of cards. Have you ever played cards? You know cards?
yes, a little.
And I bring you the deck of cards through the screen. So I'm holding it now. So you're going to accept it, take it.
Yep.
Take it.
Okay, got it.
No, you don't. You need to hold it, Michael. You need to hold it. Hold it in your hand.
I have.
No, hold it in your hand. Use your imagination. Oh, perfect. Now, shuffle the cards. Shuffle the cards, Michael. Shuffle. No, you have to take them out of the box first. You have to take them out of the box first, and then shuffle. One of them fell on the table. You need to, I don't know if you're shuffling cards or a conductor.
What do you think I'm doing?
I don't know. It doesn't look very good from here, but it's fine. I'll let you do your thing.
I'm shuffling.
Shuffle.
Yeah.
Mix. Very good. Now, I want you to open the cards in front of your face. You're going to open the cards exactly just like this. Look at all the cards. Make sure there's no jokers over there. You're going to look at the cards, and I want you to think of one of them. Just think of one of the cards. Think of one of the cards.
I am.
You got it?
Yep.
Not an ace, Michael. Change your mind. Something else. Not an ace.
Not an ace.
Okay, good. Now, take the card that you're thinking. Take it, yes. And I want you to put it back into the cards, but you're going to reverse it. I'm actually not going to look. It's look a little bit dumb what I'm doing. I'm not looking. It's all in your mind. Anyway, so just put it back into the card case and mix the cards again and put it, and you can keep it as a souvenir, as a present from JNF. It's amazing, right? So just to do a little recap what happened here, everything was in your mind and you picked up a random card and you turn it over, which means there's only one card turned over in your deck, correct?
Yeah.
Now, everything was there, was imagination. This is the reality. Here in Tel Aviv,
Oh my God, yeah.
I have a deck of cards, and this is a closed deck of cards. Now, because people are very skeptical, this deck of cards will not leave this side. It will not go here, or anyway, it will be over here all the time. There's something strange inside before this conversation. Michael, what card did you decide to turn over in your imaginary deck?
Would you like to know the name?
Yeah,
The
share it with everyone. Share it with everyone.
It's a Queen of Hearts.
Now, this is strange. I tell you why. Because I'm going to do it very, very slowly.
It's weird, right?
In the middle here, I have only one card turned over.
Yeah.
Only one card. Now, what is the chance? Oh my God.
There's no chance.
No chance. I know.
No chance.
I'll show you. It's the Queen of Hearts.
No, it's impossible. Leo, I love you.
Give him a big round of applause, everyone.
That is 100% correct. Lee's a witness. I whispered to her, Queen of Hearts.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
That's impossible, Leo. Where are you?
Well, I'm now in Israel, in Tel Aviv, in my apartment. We're doing this session. It's wonderful to see all of you in Australia. You should give yourself a big round of applause one more time, everyone. Unmute yourself. Give yourself a big round of applause. And I'm preparing something now. Can I have someone like I need like super skeptical person. I need like someone who says, it will not work on him. It will not work on him at all. And I'm making something.
No, choose Lee.
Who? Sorry, who is there?
Eitan מדבר. Choose Lee.
Eitan. Where are you right now, Eitan?
I'm in Sydney with my beautiful fiancée, and she's going crazy. Yeah,
I'm so skeptical.
She's so skeptical.
That's good, Eitan. First of all, congratulations for your upcoming marriage. I do weddings as well, but hopefully we can fly and do it. But I want to show you something. What is Eitan? What is your name, please, over there?
Eitan Neischloss and Lee Led.
So let's do this. I'm going to do something for all of you. You can all take a part, but you have to promise me this works. This is going to be really unbelievable. I have two cameras. This is one camera that you're looking on, and I have another camera here with the Rubik Cube, and I have some symbols. Can you see them clearly?
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's important that you answer me. Now, it's all, everything is in our brain. Even this Rubik's Cube, if you look, and let me just mute whoever doesn't need to be here. So even this Rubik's Cube, by the way, it's not really a Rubik's Cube. It's actually a drawing. So that's kind of weird when you look at it like this, right? Because it's all, remember, it's all in our mind. When you think you see something, it looks amazing, but it's actually like, it's just a little pig, which is kind of weird. But I wanna go over here and try to do something with all of you, and I'm muting all of you. So just unmute yourself now. Just unmute yourself, Eitan. And this is the game. So we've got Eitan and we've got who? Sorry?
Lee.
Lee, and this is important because this is connected to you, because it basically shows a little bit of what's happening between you two. For example, maybe you bought her flowers and maybe chocolate or something like that. You went hand by hand. There was a kiss. You fell in love, and eventually, correct?
That's right.
That's amazing. So I want to talk about this. This is all about synchronicity. And basically, if you think about it, guys, we are all in sync right here. We're all supporting JNF. We're all supporting Sderot, the Animal Therapy Center, and all the amazing things that they're doing in the Negev. And I want to try to do something with both of you. And if this works, it's going to be amazing. So we're going to start with the synchronization with Eitan. I've got those cards over here. These are also about you guys. This is all about love. And
wow.
I know. So Eitan, each one of you will say their names. Say your name. Eitan
So, you want me to tell them Eitan and Lee?
Yeah. Say Eitan and say Lee.
Eitan and Lee.
Perfect. So Lee, you go first. What do you think? You're skeptical. Where should I put this one? Which one?
I think start with the kiss.
The kiss here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to change or no?
Well, you asked me so nicely, so now I wonder if I should change.
It's your call. It's your call. It's your call.
No, just leave it there.
All right. I'm glad because you are correct here. See?
Wow.
I know it's strange. Let's do it again because you weren't sure, and we'll do it again with something else. Let's go with this one. Where should I put this one, Lee?
I think you should put it by the chocolate.
Chocolate is here. Now, do you want to change this one or no?
Yes.
Oh my God! To what?
To the heart.
To here.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you did this change. I'm telling you, this is really amazing. I don't. So, Eitan, go ahead. Use your intuition. Where should I put this one?
Let's go with the flowers.
Flowers. And this one, Eitan?
Ring.
I think Daddy also.
Eitan, what? Sorry?
Let's go with the ring.
The ring is here. All right. And this one?
The chocolates.
Chocolate is here. And this one, Eitan?
The couple.
The couple, which leaves us with the kiss over here. Lee, you've got all of those here. Do you want to change one of them or two of them or three of them? It's your call. You are the boss.
I feel like you're getting in my head, you know? What's going on here?
I don't know, maybe. What do you think?
Wow. Wait.
You want to change? You keep? Change? What do you want to do?
I think chocolate change with the lips.
So you want to change those two, correct?
Uh-huh.
I'm switching it slowly so you can see that I'm not cheating. Now you're satisfied? Or something else? Lee, we need quickly, make a decision.
No. I'm satisfied, I guess.
All right, now I'm a little bit in shock because you did all your choices, Eitan and Lee, and you were right over here, by the way. And you were right over here, by the way, and you were right over here, by the way. The interesting thing here is that you did this swap at the end.
I was.
And you were right as well.
I was right. The woman is right.
Oh my God. Everyone, give them a big, nasty round of applause. So thank you again, everyone, for participating. I hope you had a good time and had some fun. And remember to always think positive thoughts because you can never know who might be reading them. So back to the JNF broadcast from Tel Aviv. Lots of love and hugs to everyone.
Currently filming the third series of the hit Netflix show Shtizzle. Please welcome Michael Aloni.
Hi everyone, this is Michael Aloni. I'm so happy to join you on this virtual JNF Gala, special gala. Thank you all for coming. And I wanted to support and tell you how much your support means for us here in Israel. Thank you so much for joining this night and supporting Israel, knowing that we have families all the way over there in Australia, our Jewish community, our brothers and sisters supporting the JNF Australia means so much to us here. So enjoy the night and keep your support. Thank you, and sending you lots of love from here in Israel.
Please welcome the mayor of Sderot, Alon Davidi.
שלום, קוראים לי אלון דוידי. אני ראש עיריית שדרות כבר 7 שנים, אבא ל7 ילדים, נשוי באושר לאשתי נורית. אז מה אני עושה פה עם הבת שלי אמונה ועם הכלב שלנו, מוקה? אז בואו תשמעו את הסיפור שלנו. במשך השנים גילינו שחלק מהילדים שלנו סובלים מבעיית הפוסט-טראומה. לכן הקמתי את המרכז לטיפול בטראומה בעזרת בעלי חיים. ומה זה אומר? כל ילד מגיע למרכז ומאמץ חיה. זה יכול להיות טוקי, זה יכול להיות ארנבת, ובמקרה שלנו, של אמונה, מה אימצת?
את ננה.
את ננה. אמונה מגיעה פעם בשבוע למשך שעה או שעתיים, ולומדת מה לעשות?
לא לפחד מכלבים ולהתגבר על הפחד.
להתגבר על הפחד. הבעיה היא שבסוף, בסוף הטיפול מה היינו צריכים לעשות? לאמץ?
כלב.
לאמץ כלב, ואימצנו את מוקה. הרעיון הוא פשוט. כדי באמת לחיות במציאות הלא פשוטה הזו, אנחנו צריכים לחשוב על אחרים. את רוצה לספר לנו את הסיפור שקרה לך עם מוקה?
היה צבע אדום פעם אחת, ומוקה נשאר בחוץ, ואני הייתי ממש בלחץ, כי לא ידעתי איפה מוקה. פשוט במקום ללכת לממ"ד, רצתי לדלת.
פתחת את הדלת?
כן, ופשוט עקחתי אותו ורצתי לזה.
לאן רצת?
לממ"ד.
15 שניות, הילדה הגיבורה שלנו, אמונה, ידעה לא לחשוב על עצמה, אלא לחשוב גם על מוקה. תביא כיף. בחדר הקיים יש למעלה מ-300 ילדים שעוברים טיפול במשך כל השנה. בזכות התרומה שלכם והשותפות שלכם, נוכל להקים מרכז שייתן שירות ל1,000 ילדים וילדות מהעיר שדרות ומעוטף עזה. בשטח שנמצא כאן מאחוריי, נקים את מתחם המרכז לטיפול בטראומה באמצעות בעלי חיים. במתחם יהיה לנו חדרי טיפול מאוד גדולים, יהיו לנו מתחמי האכלה, פינות גידול וכמובן נוי ועצים. קהילת קק"ל אוסטרליה היקרים, פגשתי אתכם פעמים רבות. אני קורא לכם, פיתחו את הלב, המשיכו להיות שותפים בפרויקט האדיר הזה, ויחד נבנה עתיד טוב יותר לדור הילדים של העיר שדרות. יחד נאפשר להם להתגבר על הפחדים. אוהב אתכם, מודה לכם על תמיכתכם, ומודה לכם על השותפות המקסימה שלכם עם העיר שדרות. תודה ולהתראות.
For almost 2,000 years, the Jewish people scattered around the world longed for their return to Jerusalem and to pray at the Temple Mount. During the Six-Day War in 1967, that dream came true. And the song Yerushalayim Shel Zahav by Nomi Shemer became the unofficial anthem of Israel. To sing it for us now, we welcome back past Israeli Idol winner Hagit Yasso as we cross to the Sderot Resilience Center.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין וריח אורנים ניסע ברוח ארבעים עם כל פעמונים ותרדמת אילן ואבן שבויה בחלומה העיר אשר בדד יושבת ובליבה חומה ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור כי שמך צורב את השפתיים כנשיקת צרה אם אשכחך ירושלים אשר כולה זהב ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת
resilience is a theme that resonates with all of us now, as we are adjusting to a very different world in which the freedom, health and safety that we had all pretty much taken for granted can no longer be assumed, and we are obliged to adapt to circumstances outside our personal control. This is very challenging for many people, very confronting. It can help us to understand what our brethren in Israel, particularly in Sderot, have to contend with on a daily basis. Whilst their enemy is qualitatively different, with the danger more imminent, violent, and life-threatening, the loss of control, uncertainty, and fear for well-being are themes we can certainly relate to with greater understanding than in our pre-COVID days. How fitting, then, that our major campaign this year will support a resilience centre for the children of Sderot. 80% of children in Sderot suffer from some form of PTSD. The new Resilience Centre will increase by 300% the number of children who can be treated. The centre will be rocket-proof, which means the kids will be safe and won't have to run to shelters during an emergency. The therapy provided will give kids living with trauma a renewed sense of safety and confidence and will improve their overall functioning and resilience. We are all facing tough times. JNF has been through tougher times in its 119-year history. But we have never lost our vision or stopped working on behalf of the Jewish people and Israel. Our promise to you is that we never will. The JNF investment in healing the children of Israel is one of the ways we will grow a positive future. And so, at this time of the evening, instead of filling out your pledge cards as we would normally do, we respectfully ask you now, please support our Resilience Centre by clicking on the link in the text you've just received, or go directly to our website at jnf.org.au. The children of Israel are the future of Israel, and the future of Israel is the future of the Jewish people.
Performing from the Sderot Resilience Centre, Israeli Eurovision's 2020 representative Eden Elen will perform her chart-topping Eurovision entry, with some adoring fans from the Sderot Resilience Centre cheering her on.
אז אני רוצה להקדיש את השיר שלי, פקר ליבי לכם, JNF, באהבה. פקר ליבי what the hello, now אדוני I love you. פקר ליבי what the hello, now אדוני I love you. יאללה יאללה יאללה. Once upon a time, I was looking for a sign. But your mama, show the way, you'll be my guy. I love you. Love is undermined. Close your eyes and you will find Melodia, melody, I feel the energy inside. Say, all the people coming my way. Love is on my way. Makala kumade, makala kumade, basa. Makala kumade, makala kumade. Tonight is our story. We celebrate the glory. We have no shame. I'm not ashamed to love you. Tonight I'm gonna find you. I call your name. Habibi, Ahulibi, Otani your head. Habibi, Ahulibi, Otani oh heaven. Look at us tonight, call our bodies side to side. Confetti, confetti, falling on us from the sky. Say, all the people coming my way. Love is on my way. Makala kumade, makala kumade, basa. Makala kumade, makala kumade,
Toda Rabah Jewish National Fund for all the amazing work you do to support my homeland. From planting trees to building new communities in the Negev and the Galil, from building hundreds of water reservoirs to beautiful parks where our children can play. JNF takes care of people with disabilities and so much more. Toda Rabah JNF for all that you do. Toda.
Best known for his leading role as George Costanza in Seinfeld, all the way from Los Angeles. Please welcome Jason Alexander.
Hello, good day, shalom. It's like the opening of Cabaret. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. I'm Jason A at JNF Australia. Writes itself. Can I just say this is a tremendous thrill for me to be able to talk about the great country of Israel to the great country of Australia and not have to leave my house. That's kind of amazing. I won't lie, I kind of love it. Like, I love the people who ask me, Jason, how you coping with this pandemic? How are you getting through it? And I say, oh, thanks for asking. I'm okay. First of all, I sleep 11 hours a day. A friend of mine said, wow, really? And you're still able to fall asleep every night? Well, with the amount of drugs and alcohol I'm doing, that's never a problem. Besides, I've got lots of leisure time now because my industry no longer exists. How else do you think we got Gal Gadot to do this event? Wonder Woman may have super strength and wield a magic lasso, but if she can't wrestle up a camera crew to film it, what good does it do her? That's why every TV set in the world is locked on Netflix right now. And you're watching television shows from the 1940s, subtitled movies made in Uzbekistan, and documentaries about buttons. Because when it comes to filmed entertainment, we're all out of stuff. On the positive side, I've cut way down on chores now. No one goes in or out of my house, so there's no need to clean it. We just spray a can of disinfectant in every room and walk away. No more runs to the dry cleaners or hours spent doing laundry. That all disappears when you don't wear clothes. Yes, I am wearing underwear, don't worry. I just haven't changed them for a month. The best part is all the important events and causes that I had to leave home to be a part of are now all virtual. Just like this gala, all virtual. And how bad is that? I mean, come on, it's just us. Let's be honest. This is a treat. You didn't have to get dressed up. You didn't have to get a babysitter for the kids. You didn't schlep anywhere. You're not eating flavorless chicken, which you would be eating even if you ordered the fish, because they'd have messed it up. You don't have to pretend to be interested in the entertainment. I'm not offended. I know you've got the Uzbekistan movie on in the background. And don't worry about offending the great mentalist Lior Suchard. If you just think that you like him, he'll never know the difference. And as for the wonderful actor Michael Aloni and the beautiful singers Eden Aileen and Hagit Yasso, hey, if you're not in the mood for their performances, just turn down the sound and stare at them, because the three of them are so gorgeous that the talent is really just icing on the cake. So, this is a dream come true. Because in the comfort of your own home, you can actually do something valuable and worthwhile that requires very little effort. You can give vitally needed support to Israel and support the Jewish National Fund, all with a few clicks of a mouse. Your donations to this evening's event are more than welcome, right now and all through this program. And yes, it is hard times for everyone right now, and spare dollars are not easy to come by. But as hard as it is, if you're watching me right now, you can be pretty certain that things are a lot harder for someone else, and they can really use our help. Because I don't know if you've heard, but Israel isn't the easiest place to live at the best of times. For some reason, God decided the chosen place for the chosen people would be a desert. I don't know why he thought deserts are a good place to settle. I don't get it. Nothing good ever happened to a Jew in a desert. We built temples in the desert. They knocked them down. We built them again. They knocked them down again. They knocked them down so many times that now all that's left is a wall. And we all go, good enough. Just a wall. That's all we need. Because we know if they build it again, they're going to knock it down again. Deserts are no good. Deserts are hot and dry. Deserts have no water. Nothing grows. It's got bugs. It's got snakes. These are not conditions for Jews. What Jew vacations in the desert? Jews go to the ocean. Jews go to the mountains. Jews go to an island. I don't understand Jews in the desert. I couldn't believe when I got a call from JNF for this event that it was coming from Australia. I didn't think there were any Jews in Australia. But then I remembered most of Australia is a desert. So of course, a few unfortunate Jews must be there. You live in the deadliest place on earth. There are more things waiting to kill you in Australia than anywhere else in the world. You've got saltwater crocodiles, freshwater crocodiles. You probably have crocodiles in your drinking water. You've got sharks. You've got an octopus that can kill you. You've got tiny little irukandji jellyfish. If one touches your elbow, you die. You've got a seashell that can kill you. If you step on it, your head explodes. I don't know how it works. I just know it kills you. And that's just the water. Land is even worse. You've got birds bigger than me with claws like knives. A platypus has a poisonous hook. Kangaroos will kick the crap out of you. And you've got more venomous spiders and snakes than anywhere in the world. You've got the taipan snake, the deadliest snake in the world. One bite of a taipan has enough poison to kill 100 men. Which means if a taipan bites me, 99 of you watching right now will instantly drop dead. That's how bad it is. Australia is so deadly that when I'm there, I carry a taipan with me as a defensive weapon. Come on, you animals. I ain't afraid. I got me a taipan. And despite all this, there are Australian Jews. Now, you don't hear a lot about Australian Jews. People should know about you. There should be a song, at least. Somewhere there's a sociologist studying the diaspora, exhausted, desperate to get a break. He finds himself down under. I went out to the outback to get some indigenous views. Well, here's the news that I'll shout back. The outback's filled with Hebrews. Oi, there's Australian Jews. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Out with the emus and roos. True. There's Australian Jews. It's a miracle, really. And there's a Hebrew in Perth, Murph. There's a Hebrew in Perth. Maybe the last one on earth. There's a dearth, but there's a Hebrew in Perth. All together now, there's Australian Jews. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Out with the emus and roos. True, there's Australian Jews. And another thing, Brisbane had a big bris, miss. Brisbane had a big bris. Sliced off just about this, sis. Brisbane had a big bris. All together now, there's Australian Jews. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Out with the didgeridoos. True, there's Australian Jews. And another thing, there's a canter in Cairns, man. There's a canter in Cairns. Has no holiday plans, damn, but there's a canter in Cairns. Oh yes, yes, there's Australian Jews. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Out with the didgeridoos. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Someone Darwin's in Darwin. Sailors happen in Sale. Chuppahs happen in Hobart. And mitzvahs in Armadale. All together now, there's Australian Jews. Stu, there's Australian Jews. Out with the emus and roos. True, there's Australian Jews. All one door, out with the didgeridoos. True, there's Australian Jews. Good day. See, it's not that hard. So, Australian Mishpucha, we are gathered here today for the Jewish National Fund, JNF. Now, those are initials that I grew up with. They meant many things over the years. JNF stood for Jason, no fussing. Eventually, it stood for just not funny. That was usually my sister. But eventually, when I started Hebrew school, I learned that it stood for Jewish National Fund. Now, you're probably thinking, it took you until Hebrew school to know Jewish National Fund? But my Hebrew school taught one thing. Hebrew. Reading Hebrew is what you learn in Hebrew school. I think that's why they call it Hebrew school. You may say, no, that's where you learn about Judaism. But it's not called Jew school. It's called Hebrew school. And all I learned there was to read Hebrew. And folks, I don't want to brag, But I can read the hell out of Hebrew. Right to left, left to right, up, down, vowels, no vowels. I am an excellent Hebrew reader. However, I do not know what one word of it means. That was not part of the curriculum, just the reading. 6 years of Hebrew school, I can't say hello, goodbye, please, thank you, where's the bathroom? I sometimes think I'm Roman Catholic because I understand more Latin than Hebrew. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't appreciate that Judaism seemed to destroy my weekends. Every weekend. Saturday was Shabbat. You got to get up early, put on a jacket and tie, and go to temple where they only speak, wait for it, Hebrew. And after temple, what? What do you do? There's no playing on Shabbat. There's no TV on Shabbat. You can't hang out with your friends on Shabbat because it's Shabbat. And then Shabbat is over. And Sunday arrives and you think, oh, thank God, my one day to play and relax. But no! Because Sunday is Hebrew school, when you get up early and go to school for half the day in order to not learn Hebrew. Now, I grew up in a kosher home. My mom had 2 sets of cookware, china, silverware, 1 set for dairy, 1 set for meat. I never really noticed. I ate off of whatever she put down. Now, when I say that we had a kosher home, I mean that we were kosher only in our home. Outside the house, it was, shall we say, a bit more lax, until I broke it completely. McDonald's first opened in my town when I was 14, so I bought a cheeseburger and a vanilla shake, and I brought it home, and I put it on a plate. Now, I can't tell you if it was a dairy plate or a meat plate. My mom came in, saw a cheeseburger on a kosher plate with a milkshake next to it, and her brain exploded out of her head. How could you? This is a kosher home. Have you no respect? She was like a Jewish T-Rex. And I said, you know, Mom, can you pull out a Torah scroll and show me where it says in the kosher laws section, thou shalt not eat an animal of the land with cloven foot, nor an animal of the sea in a shell, unless at a Chinese restaurant? Because I have never seen that clause, and I can read me some Hebrew. However, every Thursday night at the local Chinese restaurant, before my father's rear end hits the chair, he orders barbecued spare ribs of a pig and a helping plate of shrimp in lobster sauce, and you're ragging on me about a cheeseburger being on the wrong plate. And that ended the kosher. Now, on a side note, either the Jewish calendar or the Chinese calendar is dead wrong, because on the Hebrew calendar, this is the year 5780. On the Chinese calendar, it's the year 4718. Both wrong. Because there's no way the Jews lived on this planet without Chinese food for 1,062 years. Not possible. So let's get somebody on that, and let's get this whole thing figured out. My guess is that it will be as difficult as trying to bring peace to the Middle East. How'd you like that segue? The Middle East, my friends, the birthplace of the world's 3 greatest religions, so much of human history and culture, and a place where men have fought and struggled and died for as long as there have been men. The first time I went to Israel, I was shepherded around by a tremendous and brilliant guide. And as I was about to step through the gates of Jerusalem for the first time, our guide said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to enter a city that has never been at peace in the history of recorded time." And I thought, maybe it's because they speak Hebrew, but nobody understands it any better than I do. That introductory trip to Israel was life-changing for me. To actually see what had been built out of the desert was nothing short of miraculous. And in that first trip, I reconnected to those years of Hebrew school and learning our history, learning our traditions, and I felt those connections in a very profound way. And I realized that I was very much a part of the success of that small country because I hearkened back to the little blue box that was a constant in my home as a child. That little blue box with the letters JNF stamped on it. It's an older version of the little blue box that so many of you have in your homes and synagogues right now. Well, that box was constantly being filled with coins and the occasional dollar bill, and all I knew back then was that the money was being used to plant trees in the desert. And as a child, I thought, there are no trees in the desert. No trees will grow there. But as I stood in Israel as a grown man for the first time, I got to stand in the groves of trees that were blooming and thriving in this promised land. Trees that I helped plant and you helped plant all those years ago. And it was in that moment that I began to rethink the possibility of miracles. Israel is a miracle. It's not perfect, we can all acknowledge that, but it is a miracle. And it's a miracle that JNF is very much a part of. JNF was first established in 1901. Israel wasn't officially established until 1948, so let's give some big kudos to JNF for vision. And let's specifically give JNF Australia some big kudos for accomplishments. Even though JNF Australia is independent of JNF as a whole, the story and the work are shared. For you guys down under, that story includes 240 million planted trees, 400,000 acres of forest and woodland, 1,000 recreational acres, and over 230 water reservoirs. And that's just a piece of the story. It also includes educational facilities and programs, environmental research and development, and preservation of natural habitats. And today, JNF Australia is leading one of the most innovative and vital efforts in all of Israel. For over 15 years, I've been working alongside organizations and individuals who are trying to find the solutions to bring about a lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians. Despite intermittent advancements, it's safe to say we haven't exactly nailed it yet. And sadly for Israelis and Palestinians, the warfare and struggles continue, and Jerusalem retains its ghastly title of being a city that has never seen true peace. But it is far from being the most embattled city of Israel. The winner of that unfortunate prize is the city of Sderot. Sderot is the city closest to the Gaza Strip. At its closest points, a good runner could cover the distance between Gaza and Sderot in a less than 3-minute run. Since 2001, Sderot has been the prime target for rocket attacks launched from Gaza. Now, we're not talking about a couple of rockets a year. We're not even talking about a couple of rockets a month. We are talking about years in which the average was hundreds of rockets per month, dozens of rockets per day. These are bombs that have killed hundreds and wounded thousands, including Palestinians. I have been to Sderot, and I thank God that in the hours I spent there, the alarms did not go off. Because when a rocket alarm goes off, citizens have about 8 to 10 seconds to hunker down and find shelter. There's no knowing how many rockets have been launched, or when they will stop, or where they will land. There are so many rockets that Israeli artists have managed to collect the exploded shells and use them as metal for sculpture. This flower has been constructed entirely from a Katyusha rocket fired into Sderot. And I wish I could tell you that these are rare. But the people of Sderot are making more than just sculptures. Continuous violence and threat of violence has had profound repercussions. Out of dire necessity, they have transformed every building and structure in Sderot into a bomb shelter. Every house, every school, every shop, every temple, every bus shelter is bomb and impact resistant. The entire city is a giant bomb shelter. Can you imagine living in that? Well, if you were living in it, you would most likely be suffering from what nearly 2/3 of the city residents suffer from, post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition that produces debilitating nightmares, anxiety, depression, memory problems, suicidal thoughts, and other mental health issues. The number of children suffering from clinical PTSD in Sderot is upwards of 40%. The United States military actually studies the citizens of Sderot for PTSD research because of how highly concentrated it is among that population. Well, JNF Australia is determined to help. They will be helping with your contributions, which I hope you've already offered and perhaps may even offer a little bit more. JNF Australia is deeply involved in the construction of the new Sderot Resilience Center. This center will focus primarily on children and teens with PTSD. It will provide therapy rooms and therapists who will introduce animals and animal caregiving as the main therapy for these children. This is a well-established and highly successful program that has proven instrumental in repairing damaged psyches and relieving anxietal behaviors. It's actually pretty miraculous. I am primarily in the laughter business, and I loved being in Australia. Last February, I was traveling around with my comedy show. The joy of my living is that I get to tour the world and do things that hopefully make people laugh, that bring joy. And right now, we all need to create as much joy as we possibly can for each other and with each other. So I'd like to offer one more possible anagram of JNF. Maybe we can make one of the things it stands for be joy, now, forever. You are bringing joy to the children of Sidorot. And joy does indeed have resilience. It is the greatest weapon against hate and evil and the things that divide people. I know your keynote speaker, Lord John Mann, would welcome joy as a true antidote for hate and anti-Semitism. When we can find joy in and with each other, that will be the greatest miracle, not only in Israel, not only in Australia, but in the world. It has been my joy to be with all of you, and that's true. And I thank you, JNF Australia, for inviting me to your gala where I don't even need to wear shoes. Thanks to all of you for your contributions and participation. Keep it coming, okay? Think of it as a tzedakah, because I know Rosh Hashanah will be fast upon us, and L'Shana Tovah to all of you and your loved ones. Let's celebrate the coming new year with an extra little gift to JNF. What do you say? And then, God willing, let's meet one day in Jerusalem, hopefully on the historic day that it finally knows real peace. Shalom, shalom. And good day, mates.
Thank you, Jason, for your support and for understanding the important work JNF is doing in Israel. May I just also say, I appreciate you giving a whole new meaning to the words, a hard act to follow. Now it's almost time to say goodnight, but first I want to thank you all for attending our virtual gala in support of the Sderot Resilience Centre. We hope you've enjoyed the evening and that you're able to support JNF this year in building resilience and growing our future. At this time, I would like to thank our JNF teams who have done such an outstanding job in creating this virtual gala. I'm proud to be counted as part of such a dedicated group of people for whom the work is clearly a labour of love. I would also like to thank all of you, our loyal supporters, for the faith and trust you put in us year after year to deliver amazing projects making such a profound difference to the quality of life for the people and environment of Israel. I would like to wish everyone a safe and healthy passage through these times. Shana Tova Umetuka. And now, it is with great pleasure that I invite our beautiful Chagit Yasso to close the evening with Hatikva.